Hey, Grotts and Gitz, how you all doing? This is Orc coming to you with some Dawn of War 3 action. Today's match comes to us from Mork's Mire. This is going to be a lovely little two-lane map here, going on between the Space Marine forces of Bikerushownz. It's a little loud, 1 second. Alright, sound levels got screwed up somehow over the last couple of days, so this might be kind of a funky set of soundings here. Anyway, so Bikerushownz playing the Space Marines, facing off against a loser's Trojan over here on the eastern side, as the Orcs, obviously. Going through, we're going to be watching it from the Orcs' point of view, for the most part. So Bikerushownz, what's he bringing into the fray? Well, he's got himself Gabriel Angelos, Jonah Orion, and the Kill Team Iron Moss. And not surprising right there, a fairly, I wouldn't say comfortable set of elites, but a fairly recognizable one. Also bringing on Invigorating Slam, Tireless, and Improved Listening Posts. Now this, of course, is always a question as to whether or not this is actually correct. I do know there's a recent patch just came out on May 31st, so I'm still not 100% sure whether or not that is now workable. Now, Trojan is bringing on in, naturally, he's going to be getting Heal and Scrap, as well as tons of bombs from his shooter boys. And Gorkanaut's command, Get to the Wall, which is pretty fun all by itself. But the kind of interesting thing to me is his elite choices. Well, he of course has Storm Boys, but he's also bringing on in the Commando, which is pretty sweet, especially because it allows rocket jumps. Isn't that just kind of goofy as all get out? As well as Grotts. So Grotts, you guys have probably seen before, is pretty awesome, as all things go. And oh dear God, here comes a standard, as well as another squad of tacticals. Okay, so tons and tons of Marines popping out onto the fray, and these shooter boys are getting torn to pieces here by just the massed bolter fire. But there is a wall tower going on up and some shouts happening here, so we could be seeing some counterplay soon enough. Nope, not quite yet, but two shooter boys, as well as a sorely abused mob of boys here. Alright, but not going to happen just quite yet. Alright, instead we're going to see ourselves some Mad Maxing going on, as both players just kind of back off a little bit. Alrighty. In the meantime, though, no real generators being placed down to the south by the Orcs, nor in the middle part of the field. But the Space Marines, well, they're putting a listening post up here to the north, and already have themselves a rinky-dink little rec generator here right now, don't they? Second rec generator coming on down, and I'm kind of concerned, I would say, a little bit, maybe perhaps about the Orc early position. Not because it's really weak at all, because I mean, if you can see right now... Oh, never mind, I might have spoken too soon. Alright, so shooter boys are upgraded now. They do have some good opportunities here. But these are Assault Marines, my friends, and these guys just carve a bloody path through everything. I will, however, note that they're... in the recent patch, if memory serves, I'm trying to remember to put some notes here. In the recent patch, they did take a slight nerf. I say slight. They increased their charge time between jumps from 45 seconds to 90, I think it is, which is, of course, quite hampering at the end of the day. Alright, so Storm Boys can come on in. Does that mean we're also going to see some... Yep, Kill Team Iron Moss can come in whenever these guys want to. Meanwhile, down to the south is Gretchen keeping an eye on this shield generator here. Not a whole lot really going to be done there, though. And I don't think anyone's really going to try to push in against this area, because why the heck would you? However, we will see the tactical mob kind of rushing onto the south and really trying to put pressure, maybe taking this position here. Yes, there they do. But Storm Boys are on the map, so I'm wondering if these Orcs are just trying to get themselves all beefed up and ready to go. Charge to the north, take it for themselves, maybe even take out this barracks up here as well. But I'm not 100% sure on that. We're going to see some scouts coming out in the meantime as well. Wow. So a very, very quick pickup of these Assault Marines. blowing these guys to pieces, and coming on down. Okay, yep, it's Kill Team Iron Moss, but they are right in the middle of everybody. Vortex Grenade does go out, but I don't know if that's really going to do a whole lot to them. In the meantime, Storm Boys do throw out a Suicide Bomber over there to the left-hand side and just do crazy, crazy amounts of damage. But despite all this disruption that keeps coming in the Orc lines, I can't help but feel that they still have things really fairly under control. Stick Bomb coming on out, and you can just see blowing the scouts to pieces. Kill Team Iron Maw gets away barely. And Assault Marines are not going to make it out alive. Oh, sorry, excuse me, are going to make it out alive, but misspoke there. Listening Post, though, putting pressure down against these boys as they run on in. And I'm wondering, they're just trying to take out the Servitor? No. Indeed, he might even lose this squad of boys. Yep, there it goes. Improved Listening Post, pretty much paying for itself by just taking out squads a little bit too easily for my liking. So the boys hunt up. We seeing any other tech structures, really? Not quite. Listening Post here. Another wall tower going on up. Now, how about this? Are they going to be coming up? No, they're not moving up at all. They're trying to get some more power yet on the map. So, looking over real quick at Bikerushownz, he's trying to go for an Assault Marine play here. Still has 3 squads of Tacticals. But seeing that he's probably a little bit outmatched, let's say in physical combat, he's trying to change that from happening. Meantime, while going on up, which means that we're going to see some more fireworks pretty darn soon, which will be kind of fun. And... I like it too. Let's buy it to dance. Pilot guns coming on up, so here comes an arsenal opportunity. And the Orcs are just rushing onto the fray, seeing pretty much absolutely everything. Not pretty much everything, absolutely everything. Coming over here to the north. I'm suspecting we're going to see a Suicide Bomber enthroned if they ever get seen. Okay, stick bombs. And these Assault Marines are just don't get in the right time at all. Kill Team Iron Maw, though, does have themselves a Flamer, so that is going to be pretty darn good there. Another wall tower popping off here. Going to take some increased damage, and then, oh jeez. Trojan's going to take a lot of losses here. If he manages to pop this off, he's in great shape, but until then, he's kind of boned. Storm Boys are really, really beat up, and oh yes, he gets it off. There we go. So his boys can take reduced damage, and pushing back against all these Space Marines and taking out one squad of Assault Marines already. Anything else have gone down? Servitors are completely off the map. We're going to see a drop pod coming on in, blowing them apart, and here comes some scouts. Strange decision to bring scouts onto the field, but I guess the drop pod is all he's got. That might be why he's putting himself through that particular position. And there we go. So, Space Marines are going to go and grab their standard right back. Alright. The fray is going on like crazy. The Vortex Grenade is going out, doing some damage. Suicide Bomber coming back out the other direction, and the Storm Boys are just slowly getting themselves back up and ready to go. Truck is on the map as well, so I don't think this thing has... Okay, well, he's got... Watch the boys, he's got the catapult there, but he doesn't necessarily have... Tractor pole, and I don't think that lack of that will mean... Yep, okay, so we are seeing some of the correct doctrines here. That's a positive there. Kill Team Iron Maw is getting pulled right back out again, getting pulled themselves back in with more units, I imagine. You know, all these boys, all this material over here is just kind of chilling, hanging out, gotta slowly get themselves boosted back up here. No, not quite. They just picked up scrap, maybe. Alright, either way. Now this truck has himself a shield, so kind of a scary position, I would say, against the Space Marines. I'm sure there are people out there who are disagreeing with me. We do, of course, have a couple of scouts, but pound for pound, there's a bunch of orcs. There's not that many Space Marines. Stormboys rushing on into the fray, going after the Kill Team Iron Maw, bringing them down into melee assaults here. Boys, in the meantime, are locking down and stunning up a lot of these scouts. This truck blowing up in the same time, doing some good damage and getting some nice utility out of those troops before it goes on down. And, yep, so tactical squad's going down, assault marines going down, and geez, these storm boys could be taken out. Yep, there's another assault squad going down. Jonah Orion's on the field, but there could just as easily be a commando squad. That'd be kind of fun. Jonah doesn't get any kind of opportunity to just block those guys on in. Emperor's Light, I think, has just gone out, but not going to do that much for him. Stonewall, Fury the Ancient, excuse me. I always flip those two, I don't know why. Secondary truck has been brought onto the field, and while there's only one squad of boys left, not the best place for the Space Marines. Yep, down just 2 tacticals and a servitor, as well as these elites up to the north. Truck is spewing smoke, and not in a good way. Kill Team Iron Watch is kind of laughing over here as he throws out another rocket towards it. These commandos, I actually have not seen commandos utilized yet. That could be really, really fun. And what do we got in the meantime? Okay, so we have teched up. Tadaka Hut's up. We do have this up, and level 2, level 1. Okay, so we have seen some more health coming up for infantry. Positive step there. Now, Bikerushownz, what has he been doing in the meantime? Well, he's got himself, I think, slowly teching up. Yep, he's teching to tier 2 here. So getting a Dreadnought might be a nice way to get back in this. Super expensive. And the Orcs, well, the Orcs are just getting themselves fired back up again. So Wah is up and ready to go, and the question is whether or not he can spy these scouts as they wander on around. Found stealth enemy. Okay, there we go. So charge after them, boys. 3 Wah towers are up, which means, yep, there we go. They're going to get exploded. So many grenades. So many grenades. Gretchen is just kind of chilling over here, not being found out by anybody. And another Wah tower is going off. So, Trojan playing this extremely well, I would say. Keeping his towers just barely close enough that they're mutually supportive, but at the same time, they can just start spewing out Wah after Wah after Wah. Some more speed and attack damage. Here we go. And fireworks. It's always fun. Oh, geez. That scout squad's pretty much done. Yep, explosions, and no, he's going the wrong direction. Okay, Grotts is on the map, so he wasn't going to go for the commandos. Instead, Grotts takes out Orion by himself, blows apart a assault marine squad, and now... Jeez. The Space Marines are getting crushed right now. What do they have left? Okay, a couple of dreadnoughts, a bunch of scouts coming on in, but still nothing in the area, and indeed, I'm surprised. Okay, turn around, hit the tech structures. Hit the tech structures! Dear God, hit the tech structures. Whoa, not sure what the heck happened just there. But scouts trying to run by and getting blown to pieces. And listening post going down. Which means we're going to see these generators explode as well. So, popping on off. One boy squad hanging on behind to take that for the good of the Wah. And I'm wondering, where are this Gretchen? Okay, so Gretchen chilling off in the back, throwing up another Wah tower. No. Oh my gosh, there's so many Wah towers up here. Oops, sorry. Stun grenade coming out. Beautiful stun grenade, actually. Stunning up like 80%, let's say conservatively, of the Orc army. And indeed, here comes another one, so very well done there. But this scout squad's going to pay for their bravery. Get called back to the Emperor's side, so to speak. Now, are you see Gorgat's going to start throwing down his whole spinning claw again? No, it doesn't look like it. Instead, we're going to see... Oh, geez, 2 dreadnoughts coming on in. Oh, geez. So Killick Hands being brought in instead as the truck goes on down. Will we see any sort of fighting retreat? No. No, instead we're just going to see the Orcs fall back in, let's call it what it is, disarray. And yep, so those dreadnoughts kind of saved the day a little bit, at least for right now, for Bikerushownz. He's down with 3 servitors, 2 dreadnoughts, and 3 scouts. So strange decisions there, but kind of fun nevertheless. And we are going to see these dreadnoughts just take out exactly what they need to take. Oh, no, never mind. Here we go. Things kicking off again. Death Dread's coming on forward. And where's that Killer Can? He's coming to the front? He's slowly making his way forward right now. But those Dreadnoughts will not be denied. They're going to start blowing apart these shooter boys. And indeed, these boys overall are just getting blown further and further away. However, the Death Dreads as well as Grotts will not be denied. As one of them goes after these boys, the other one's going to go down any second here. Gets hounded back. He's under 500 health right about now, so it's what, 1/6? Oh geez, yep, that's going to be game for that poor guy, I think. No! No, 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 no. Oh, never mind, there he goes, okay. All is right in the world again. So he goes on down as Iron Team, Kill Team Iron Maul. I will always do that. Gets called right back in again. This time, what do they bring it on in? They look to have, it's a missile launcher. So while Grotts might go down, I'm not still sure I'd really want to be any of these Space Marines right now. Jonah Orion coming on in, which means one of those Death Dreads is completely boned. But in the meantime, the other Dreadnought does go down. There goes the Death Dread as Kill Team Iron Maul whoops him there. And Bikerushownz just has scouts and heroes. And against a Death Dread, those scouts are going to be less than worthless. And the heroes aren't going to be particularly great either. I'm sure, of course, having the missile launcher on Kill Team Iron Maul is going to do pretty darn well. But not going to be quite the blessing he might have hoped for. In the meantime, the second Death Dread has come out. He's moving on over here. My guess is might even pick up this scrap, give himself that awesome abilities. And one of the scout squads gets blown to pieces. Oh, another wad comes on out. I never really noticed that thing actually opens and shuts. Kind of falls to pieces there now, doesn't it? Shield is up and heals himself quite a bit. The Storm Boys are back up and healthy. And I have to say, Trojan's been doing a great job of preserving the health of his heroes. What's more, we are going to see with the armed individuals are going to crush on in and just blow apart one of these shield generators super fast. And while a stun goes down and these scouts bravely try to stave off these attacks, not much really to be done here. Another Dreadnought comes on in. This guy's going to get pwned in a second here. I'm going to slow this down just for a second so we can take a quick look. So, Sneaky, Commando goes and throws down Stun Bomb. Kaboom. Stealth the Commando, increasing his speed and causes stun in a circle, and removed if he does attacking, captured or gets detected. Jonah Orion, in the meantime, throws down his stupid little stone wall thing and traps a squad of tank busters on inside, and will do some good damage there. And Stun Trap, Commando's going to be able to throw down a mine, and he also has that boomstick.
I will set this cursed realm right.
Oops, there we go. There we go. There's Captain Angelus, though, is on the field, but just as quickly, we will see the Jonah Orion has gone on down. Angelus, in the meantime, as well, has also taken a nerf, guys, so keep an eye out for that one. And just as soon as the Dreadnoughts come on in, even if the Death Dreads go down, well, the Dreadnoughts go right back out pretty quickly. Defcon losers in the meantime have been brought on to the field. One Tank Buster squad as well. There's those leaders, I believe. Yeah. No. Yeah. Excuse me. Not used to seeing too many looters, actually. The stun grenades coming out like crazy, and a lot of this Orc army is very, very wounded. Of course, a lot of the Space Marine army is just plain dead. All we have is Kill Team Iron Maw, one squad of Tacticals, and 2 Dreadnoughts on the way. Teleport Homer in the meantime does go off, and there goes Kill Team Iron Maw. Come right back down? No, not quite yet. Oh, here they come. Alright. Not the greatest opportunity for him. It's just these Death Dread armies, it's just the shooter boys actually, have just been doing so much damage. And we finally see the death of this particular listening post. We do see the death of, oh my gosh, can't think of what it's called right now. Of the barracks over here, but that is not the death of everything. Alright, and Kill Team Iron Maw is going to go down here. There we go, that's death. But here come dual dreadnoughts, so this might be a tiny bit of peace. Okay, there we go. Death Dreads are going to go down, but they're going to do some good damage before they do, I think. Question is whether or not Trojan is going to invest anything into, maybe not our rocks per se, but maybe some more damage here or there. He's got a ton of requisition, a fair amount of power as well. It looks like he just keeps building more and more Death Dreads, so probably a good opportunity there. And Trojan is just going all in on the Dreadnoughts. Kind of a bad idea there. Even more so as now we see these poor tacticals getting crushed again. Stormboys rushed in, blew them apart. And these Dreadnoughts are not going to want to walk around by themselves. Not sure why that slam happened. But interesting. Not sure why he did that. Maybe to destroy the scrap, I'm not sure. But more walls like crazy. How many wall towers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we just hit the 5, don't we? Feels like there's a lot more than that. Taking a quick check over at upgrades. Where's that pile of guns? And a mech shop as well. Let's not fail to notice that. And we are seeing the pile of guns is gotten already infantry level 1. Ooh, vehicles at level 2 is already up as well. So vehicle damage is up to level, is going extra well on the way to level 3. And here we're back over here again. More Dreadnoughts charging in. Gable Angelus is going to go down to the second here. He goes down. Grotts takes him out. And one Dreadnought's dead. Another Dreadnought's going to die imminently. And while these shooter boys down here might get blown up, it might just as easily end in the death of this barracks. Yeah, not a great look for them. Brave move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. You know, back to the north. This place has fallen back under Space Marine control. Storm Boys as well as Deathcom Looters are going to try to go and take this thing out. We'll probably do some good damage to it. But I think I did notice, yep, there's going to be a Predator tank coming on in.
Ravens.
Machine Cult.
We have lost a listening post in
Where is that thing? There we go. So, yep, the Destructor coming on in, not the Annihilator. For some reason, I admit I get the silhouette's a little bit wonky sometimes, so forgive me there. And while they have now taken out that listening post yet again, they're going to lose their own listening post a little bit further to the south. And the Orcs are just pounding down so much power. Some really, really great resource generation happening here. More tank busters coming onto the field, though, as are Mork Gretchen. And this Destructor is going to do some good damage, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. Commander doing some good damage. Or no, actually, Death Dread, Commando, and Gorgot's all stuck inside with Jonah. So Jonah is going to buy it very quickly, I think. Because Iron Maw comes back into the Flamer, going to be good against massed infantry. But massed infantry doesn't really look like what's been the play recently for Trojan. Now, I want to see what that whole rocket jump opportunity looks like. Okay, so bonus damage versus skimmers. Okay, cool. So that's what it looks like. Haven't seen that in quite a long time. More walls, of course, going out like crazy, and investment is, again, still kind of minimal back into more infantry, just reinforcing what he's got already. Playing rather conservatively in terms of just pure army size. Bikerushownz, in the meantime, while he's down a little bit more in supply, but he's gone right back into a bunch of attacks, a couple of Dreadnoughts. And this generator down here is slowly getting taken out, but, you know, that's just bound to happen eventually. Commando, in the meantime, rushing back to the fore. He, of course, has himself to the boomstick. He's got 2 rounds. Damage in the cone causes knockback if in stealth, so that's kind of nifty. Coming in and around, though, so I think, yep, these tacticals are completely dead. And I do kind of miss sync kills. I know people were like, yo, dude, sync kills destroyed games sometimes, but I kind of miss the sync kills, I admit it. And a big track is now on the field. Of Question is he going to be in kill him close or kill him far? As of right now, let's say kill him close. Okay, these guys are trying to annoy the servitor to death. Not sure why necessarily. Not going to happen. Might even lose them. But hey. Oh jeez, these wild towers get closer and closer all the time. We're up to at least 5. Might even be 6. I don't know. We'll see. But Death Dreads by themselves doing the dirty. Kind of a shame. There we go. Just rushing back home real quick to get a good wall up and then falling back. We went down to the south. Weird madness. Rocks has been called on in, but the beacon has been popped up by this particular attack squad. And that is good in many cases for Space Marines and kind of bad for the Orcs, because if that thing gets picked up, that big rock might cause a lot of missed opportunities there. Alright, Orbital Beam coming on in terms for the Space Marines though too, so we're just going to see some madhouse going on here. Kill Team Iron Moss going to get thrown to... can't even talk here. Shredded to pieces by all of that massed Ludifire, but looks like those Ludas are going to get taken on out by a Dreadnought in turn, so it's just a massive bit of fighting across the field. Storm Boys going mano-a-mano with that Attack Marine squad, taking him out. The big tracks are desperately out of position. And what is left? Well, Gabriel Angelos is facing off against the war boss himself. His commandos here just putting some good damage out. And this Dreadnought is still here. Might be able to take out this Depth Dread. Depth Dread, never mind, gets a shield on in. With one squad of Tank Busters hanging on out. So, doing some good damage, but might still be the death of him. There goes the Depth Dread. Both players have gone and used their call-ins. But once again, the Orcs are still able to come out ahead. 84 army supply to what's left over there for the Space Marines. 39. Most of those are servitors. Now, keep in mind, a lot of army supply, let's say, options have been redefined here. Oh, wow, that's what that thing does. Okay.
Predator Destructor en route.
That's what that is. Okay.
The Servitor is en route.
A lot of the population opportunities have been completely changed out, so I couldn't even give you a fair bit of what the case is. Gorguts, though, is going to go and use his kind of scorpion move to take out that Dreadnought, and coming on in after Gabriel Angelos, he decides not to go and press the advantage that he's got already. Probably a good call right there, as all of his Tank Busters and big tracks are just throwing fire down at this listening post, and will eventually take it on out. Assuming, of course, that this bad boy doesn't get taken out first. He might even die. Yep, there he goes. He's dead. It's kind of a shame, but you know, as far as real problems go, that's not really one of them. Jordan O'Brien's been called back in, and I think, yep, that will be a very deadly squad. Gorguts, though, is going to do some good damage, I think, even as the shooters are taking some fire from these attacks. Big tracks, in the meantime, have gone to kill and far mode. There is no longer a stun happening with this, and I know that's a big buff, buff to their opponents, or say, nerf is what I meant to say. Forget that. Gorguts almost is going to go down against Jordan Orion and Angelos, but Angelos decides that he just wants to chase everything back. Now, if I am these Orcs, though, I am backing with these tracks because I do not want to lose these things. These things are stupidly expensive. I get the feeling they're going to die. Slowly, but they might die. Will the Ancients going on off does some damage down in true. In the meantime, Dreadnought coming in as well, and that might be enough to take out one of these tracks. But the balance of the Orc forces redeploys Commandos, Storm Boys, and some Tank Busters coming in, as well as the big track in the back, just putting some range fire out, and that Daka cannot be dealt with effectively, I don't think. Stormbite's going to put down a stun trap, I think. Yep. No. Okay. This one was a stun trap. Anyway, going to see some good damage out, taking out Space Marine tank here. Even as Kill Team Mire comes right back in yet again. So the Orcs, they get some good pushes, and then they kind of get pushed away by not so much skillful use. Not so much skillful use of Space Marines, but just kind of constant waves of elites and dreadnoughts. Now, taking a quick look over at the supply situation for the Space Marines, again, so many servitors. Considering how much repair work they have to do, this Destructor needs a ton of repair work, these Dreadnoughts need some repair work, this poor guy right here needs some health overall. He's got like, yeah, he's at 1/14 of his total health. That's just a shame right there. This guy's gonna be hanging out in the back for a long time.
We have engaged a weak enemy force. Southwest of your position.
Pile of Guns has gotten himself completely and totally buffed up in terms of vehicle health and damage. And considering the sheer amount of vehicles that we've seen so far on this map, that seems like a great call. I am wondering whether or not we're going to see Call to War for the boys. No, instead we see this Dreadnought is just taking some firepower as this turret is going to get aggressed on. And not going to go particularly well as yet again another Dreadnought gets dropped on in. Now this poor Death Dread is going to get wrecked. So that's one right there. What's more is the fact that these Ludos don't even have a whole lot of DACA to give to this particular engagement. They're going to fall back. While these Death Dreads are just going to, I think, sacrifice themselves. Yep. Sacrifice themselves. Not quite the best usage. There. And I am wondering why we haven't seen just more killer cannons overall. Oof. Ludo's doing crazy much of damage. Death Guns. And more Dreadnoughts being dropped on in. So, you know, after a while, you just have to be saying, I should be going straight AT like this entire time. Instead of just seeing this constant call-in of material. Not doing anywhere near enough, I would argue. Death Dread coming in to engage. No. Instead, this Dreadnought just kind of walks on by. Those Ludos just pouring incredible amounts of firepower into his back. But he doesn't seem to notice at all. He just kind of gets tickled a little bit. Not that much. Death Dread doing some good damage to him instead. Meanwhile, the rest of the Orcs transition back to the north to make sure that this push does not achieve what it probably wants to do. And that is Jonah down. And I would say that Gabriel is going to be quick to follow there. So Rocks can come on in, but that's not going to be a great opportunity. Indeed, we see one Death Dread popping down. And another one dying. Jeez. Never mind, we see an immediate call-in of that rock. And I think it needs to be this Death Dread. Take it and just running it down after these Destructors. Pick it up. Pick it up now.
Hey, boss. You gonna send out commandos or what?
Oh, too late. Not gonna be enough time. Skadoosh. The commander does come back onto the field, and we are going to see some Death Dreads coming in and around after these Predator Destructors. But now there's an Annihilator coming on out, and these Annihilators are nothing to sneeze at. Those double las cannons are going to do an incredible amount of damage to all those Death Dreads, and there's 3 of them. Let's ignore the fact that that's literally all the Space Marines have left. There's a couple of heroes and tanks, but there's 3 of them. In the meantime, what are we seeing getting thrown on up? Another Wall Tower? Yep, Wall Tower it is. So salvaging, doing some nice repair work. Those Gretchen are geniuses, man. Oh no, I was wrong. I could have sworn I was going to see a Wall Tower coming on up, but no, instead we see another Death Dread. And that is just the strength of the Orcs right there, and more opportunity up here to the north with each of these positions. It just was still going on like crazy. How are things going here? 569, 140, 150, excuse me. So, wait, what? Holy crud. Space Marines bring in an incredible amount of firepower, or at least from power generation. And they really need it, too, considering how often they want to be investing in these tanks. Now, the problem with investing in all those tanks is, in the long term, they're not going to give you quite as much damage. Especially if you're just looking to go up against these vehicles. Yes, you might be able to counteract those by themselves. There's enough other material on the field that it ain't going to be enough, son. Orbital beacon coming on down. Trying to get some bombardment damage against the Def Dreads. Not going to be enough. Take a quick look at Arsenal. So infantry damage level 1 finally going off. We already... Ooh. Infantry damage is all that's been done in terms of infantry as well. That's really interesting to me. Meanwhile, the orbital bombardment might even take on this wall tower. No, it doesn't even do that. Okay. And indeed, we see an army of Death Dreads charging on forwards, and that would be terrifying to me. Just see these giant monsters trooping on in. I do not know if what remains for the Space Marines can successfully counteract this, but they are on the wrong side of the field, my friends. They are completely on the wrong side of the field. Scouts trying desperately to hold back the army that is now contesting here, but no, there it goes. That's one right there. But there is a teleport coming back home, and that is some good opportunities there. A lot of Death Dreads taking some crazy amount of firepower here between the Annihilators as well as the rockets coming out from Kill Team Iron Maw. That's not to say that's all coming up Millhouse, because it's definitely not. Yes, they are taking away a significant portion of the Orc War Machine, but they're losing their own Elise to do it. You want to take a look right now. Jonah Orion's still gone for another 60 seconds. Tech structures are falling down. Yep, and I didn't even see... Yeah, their own arsenal has been taken out as well. And there goes Gabriel Angelos. So that's a problem. That's a big problem. And the commander goes down. I mean, that stinks, but it's kind of so what at the same time, right? Now, these guys backing up, they might lose a couple of squads on retreat. That's an acceptable loss when you consider how much requisition he's bringing in. 730. It's incredible. Waj continues to come on out, doing some good damage there. Taking a quick look down here. Okay, so... Yep, so see, the shield generator down the south has gone out, so the Space Marines did get a little bit of benefit out of that. It's like the worst metal concert in the world. Tank Busters coming out in droves, though, as well as more Death Dreads, and really, Gresham are just at their most beastly with all the scrap that's on the field here. Death Dread's going to go down, but I would not be surprised. Wait, what? Laking Skimmer coming on out. Interesting decision there. Tank Buster's going the wrong direction. And probably going to pay for their lives. One shot going out after the Skimmer. One more barrage. No, instead they start firing at Jonah. Not sure why they're firing at Jonah. Alrighty. Meanwhile, the orcs are just touring on around, just wilding like crazy. 135 for them in terms of requisition there. What are those Space Marines building, though? Okay, Devastators at long last. Maybe trying to suppress material. I don't know if it's really going to be enough, though. This first Death Dread, however, will get torn to pieces. And Jonah is going to lock down a lot of this firepower here, locking them away. And more Dreadnoughts coming on, and so the Orcs are getting torn up. And indeed, I don't know how much is really left there to push forward. I really hope that this isn't a turnaround because of an ill-conceived attack. Wow, the Orcs are just completely melted away. Gorkutz is going to go down. I would not be very surprised if he makes it out alive. He's got a huge amount of hit points. Okay, never mind, he still has 1,000. Okay. It always seems like it's a heck of a lot less. You know, to the north, Tank Busters not looking to even pressure back against the Skimmer here. Doing pretty darn good. Wow, I didn't even realize that too. So 123 DPS. That Melta too? Okay, so that's why. So you got multi-Meltas on there. So multi-Meltas are going to be pretty darn good against that armor. But I can still say I'm not sure really how great the orc position is anymore. The thing that's really working for him is the fact that every single time he throws himself forward, all of these tanks get more and more and more damaged. Now, the problem with that is that these tanks are made to take down all these vehicles that he's calling on in. So I'm kind of wondering why he's not just changing into, again, maybe another shooter-centric army, or using his storm boys to get in. And there we go, finally, we're seeing some killicans. That's kind of good. These dudes are ultra light, only 1,000 hit points, but I would still argue that it's still worth way the heck more than having a 3,000 point thing that has to run on in before it can be effective. So feel free to disagree with me though if you want to. That's more than I expect. And the Tor takes a back seat for a couple more minutes here.
Your commando is ready for sneaking.
That sounds way too happy. Your commando is ready for sneaking. It sounded way too normal. I almost felt like for a second it was going to be a space marine there. But no, looks like a listening post will probably take down this Death Dread. Especially as now we see Kill Team Iron Maw coming in behind, and here comes the rocket. Yep, this Death Dread is not long for this world, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting this sense that the orcs are starting to kind of, you know, whiz this away as the incredible armored might of the Imperium is really being called on. And look at this, 3 Destructors. 3 Destructors, my friends. An army of Servitors. 7. 3 Predator Annihilators. 2 Dreadnoughts. And just to, just to round things out, a Devastator squad. It's insane. We are going to finally see some more tank busters coming on out. I just don't know if that's going to be enough. And there they go. Okay, so Storm Boys are coming on in. So Suicide Bomber is going to be an option. Not that it's going to do as much damage as it used to. That was one of the comments I was going to make about 30 minutes ago, when I was going to tell you that, well, Suicide Bomber has been nerfed quite significantly. It now doesn't do unlimited damage to everybody in the squad. It does damage to a maximum of 5. I mean, against a lot of squads, it's still an incredible amount, but against orcs, it might affect them a tiny bit less just by dint of their squad sizes.
Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
Starting work on a new killican.
And lots of killicans are coming on out, so Gretchen might save the day. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up what killicans are in the universe. It's fantastic. Oh yes, it is in fact a metal Tor. It's so fantastic. I'm sorry, every single time I see this, it makes me laugh so much. Just because of the nature of what a Wa actually is. In the universe, if I remember correctly, they always call the Wa a combination between a pub crawl with mass genocide thrown in for good measure. Tank busters galore, though, doing incredible amounts of damage, and that's the difference. Death Dreads are great against massed infantry, but against mass vehicles, you need all of these rockets. And just look at that. It's like a giant meteor shower on the field. This commando's coming on in. What's he throwing on down, my friend? There he goes. He's got a stun trap going in. Yep. Damage, but not that great. Meanwhile, Destructors coming down to the south, and they have themselves a little bit more health. I say a little bit, 3,600 points worth.
Nicked a resource point.
And here comes another. No, there's no other wall. Okay.
Killican sounds good for a fight.
And more killicans getting brought on in. So 145 army supply on one side, 226 on the other one. Holy cow! So here comes a push to the north, killing killicans. Actually, can the tank busters rotate and just take this out? It looks like this is just all a ploy. Here comes the Destructor army back down to the south. This is going to be fantastic. And this tower is just getting wrecked. Here we go. Throws himself into Shockwave. So, pretty darn good. Stuns units and all that. Here we go. Alright, so Kill Team Iron Maw is taking rockets like crazy, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. Power Core has been vulnerable now, but these guys turn around and start actually throwing rounds with this Dreadnought. They will get exactly what they want. Rocket jump! Hooray! We get to see it. That is a dead Dreadnought. That's a dead kill team. And these guys really should be able just to reinforce as they run by this position here. But the full armored might has been called in for the Imperium. And they still have, yep, they have the orbital strikes. That's more than enough opportunity for them. Servitor's coming on in, trying to go and spot out what might be happening. And getting shredded by rockets galore. Of course, Jonah Orion is causing his usual problems here with that shield wall, and there come more Dreadnoughts. So his tank busters might be dead, my friends. And I wish I could give you a better show here at this point, but we are going to see the power core is under attack, and it ain't going to last too much longer. So a beautiful turnaround, well played actually by Bikerushownz. I'm surprised it went as well as it did. But he held out until he could just start mobbing up tons and tons of armored vehicles. And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to take out these guys quick enough. And indeed, there goes one, there goes two. But there's still enough tanks here to get the job done. So, well played. Trojan, unfortunate loss, my man. But I think you kind of lost it the second you continue to push forward with Death Dread after Death Dread. But folks, that's going to be it for me today. So, congratulations to Bikerushownz. Bad luck to Trojan. And I hope you guys will all come back next time for some more Dawn of War 3 action. If you have a game you want me to check out, please email me at conorggaming@gmail.com. And I will see you guys all soon. Take it easy, everybody.